Good afternoon, everyone. How are you feeling after watching the video? I could capture participant engaged in a rich discussion, interaction over the 2 days. Now the collective wisdom is in my hands, but also in all of us. I think weaving this fruitful discussion into meaningful outcomes rests with us. So for plenary session 4, now I'd like to invite several participants to share their reflection and perspective from the conference. Please welcome our final session moderator, Mr. Im Hyun-mook, Director of IConGCED, along with our invited participants.
Okay, good afternoon. I think you must be happy because now you can go home. Thank you. Thank you so much for your active participation. This is the final session to wrap up our discussions and our exchanges. Let me start by introducing the panel. You know, we have chosen this panel. They are not representing anybody, any organizations. We have chosen this panel randomly, just to give you some time to think about your takeaways from this conference and to share your ideas and thoughts about your actions you will take after this conference. Okay? Yes, thank you. Okay, first, Ms. Cecilia Barbieri, Chief of the Section of Global Citizenship and Peace Education at UNESCO headquarters in Paris. Please welcome our colleague Cecilia. Please welcome. Next, Nelly Alluanga Omino. She's head of international curriculum at Kyoto School, Nairobi, Kenya. Please welcome. Next, Araboy Ahmadullayev. He is a chief specialist of the Department of Methodology and Textbooks at the Ministry of Preschool and School Education of Uzbekistan. Thank you for joining us. Then Professor Musumi Mukherjee at the O.P. Jindal Global University, India. Thank you, Professor Mukherjee. Okay, the purpose of this panel is quite clear and very simple, just to share the reflections about this conference and to share the takeaways from this conference, of course, including the actions that you will be taking in your own context. So, who will be the first? Any volunteer? Okay, from that side, Professor Mukherjee.
Hello, am I audible? First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Lim for your invitation for me to join the research team here, redefining global citizenship competencies, and thereafter joining this 9th conference, international conference of GCED, and also the hospitality of the entire team of APSIU that we have received last 2 days. I'm really very thankful and grateful, and I want to, extend warm, I think everybody needs to clap for APSIU at this stage. Thank you on behalf of all of us. Another thing I want to share with all of you today before I share my reflection, today is Teachers' Day in India. A round of applause for all the teachers in the world. Today is the birthday of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who is the second president of India and a renowned academic philosopher and teacher, in whose honor every year, 5th of September, is celebrated as the Teachers' Day. And I know that the UN has its own Teachers' Day, which is celebrated internationally, but I am extremely honored and humbled to be able to share my reflection over the past 2 days on such a special day like this, on Teachers' Day. Let me share with you my takeaway over the last 2 days. For me, as I have already shared with all of you yesterday, it was a really very, very important moment for me, listening to the stories, right? Listening the story session. But even before the story session, the keynote speech by our, Dr. Osler, when she mentioned teachers have a moral and political responsibility. That was something very, that struck me, struck a chord inside me. And thereafter, listening to the stories of Ludwiga, and thereafter my wonderful colleague from Pakistan, Tanya, especially the work that she's doing with children's book and stories. And this is something I'll really take away. And I will include it as part of the Global Citizenship and International Understanding course that I already teach at my university, and taking into consideration the kind of political tensions that we have in the entire South Asia region. It was a very significant moment when I heard one of my colleagues from Bangladesh here reading out the story of this Dalit Hindu girl from Pakistan who has now gained political power, is a senator at that country. So this is, I think, extremely powerful experience for me, and I'm going to definitely take this back. Apart from this, all the various sessions that I have listened to, particularly today morning, the youth session, was so inspiring. When we were asked to reflect on one word yesterday during the workshop, the word that came into my mind was hope. And that hope was reinforced again today morning during the youth session, when the young people from Egypt, Sri Lanka, and even Korea were sharing the brave things that they are doing to make a difference into this world as change makers. So I would take all these back to my own students. And actually, I have been constantly, some of you might have noticed, taking pictures and writing certain things on my phone frantically. Actually have a WhatsApp group for my global citizenship course. So I've been sharing constantly pictures and updates and little quotes and all the things that I have been including, the refugee issues that was discussed yesterday in one of the sessions. Many of the students in my class are from refugee background. And I think it's been an extremely enriching experience. I would love to come back to this conference again next year. And thank you all. And thank you once again, APSU.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Mukherjee, for sharing your thoughts. And I firmly believe that your students will benefit from your experiences with us over the last 2 days. So, and congratulations again on the India's Teachers' Day. I believe the Global Teachers' Day is October 5th. Yes. Right, yes. We can celebrate again next month. Well, before moving on to the next panelist, let me remind you, after listening to the panelist sharing, I will walk walk around this floor to give you a chance to speak, share your takeaways and your reflection. So be ready for that. Okay, thank you. So yeah, Cecilia, please.
Yes, thank you very much. So let me take it from our colleague. Let me also thank Apseyu. For me, it's a little bit as coming home every time I'm here. So Dr. Lim said that we are not speaking as representative of institution is true, but I'm very biased, of course, working so much on these topics and with the passion, I think, and it's very encouraging for me to see such a group and such a commitment. So thank you very much. It's always impeccable, right? Every time we come here. Now, a few takeaways. Well, I think that we heard the challenges that we are facing. I think it was very clear. In our last session now, someone was asking why we came up now with this recommendation on education for peace, why the need, right, for this revision now. And I will say that there is really this sense of urgency. I think what we are witnessing around us, we have the sense of urgency. And just to give you this data that according to the Global Peace Index 2023, this index has deteriorated for the 13th time in a row. And 2022 was the worst year in terms of conflicts and death because of conflict since the time since 1994. You remember 1994 was the year of the genocide of the Tutsi in Rwanda and Yugoslav war, just to say the situation that we are facing. But what I really liked and enjoyed, and it always happens when we come to this conference, is also this, that is really an opportunity, is a moment of reflection, but of hope. And I really like what our colleague said. I also had thought about this word of hope. Because there is a lot of hope in this room. And I think for me, this conference is also a moment where I go back sort of full of energy, because I think the conversation and the spirit that we have here and the diversity that we have here, diversity that comes together for a common objective, I think it really gives me a lot of energy. So I'm always going back. I will go back, sort of redynamize and really even more committed to take forward all this work that we have in common. Now, a final point, we listen to, I think we had concrete example and testimonies of the transformative power that education has. And I think, I like to see this in action, actually. When we talk about education, there is education and peace. I think we also have a lot of rhetoric there, right? Because education is not any kind of education. And that's why I think GCED has such a role to play, and education for peace is so important, because this is really the core, the purpose, the real purpose of education, building peace. And we heard stories, and I think these Professor Audrey mentioned yesterday, and also Dr. Lim, it's every little action of every individual matters, and it's important, and this is what then provokes changes. And I think we listen to stories of individuals. So, and we are individuals that belongs to organization, association, institutions, but institutions are made of individuals. So every act that we do, I think, really matters and can make a difference. And I think this is what we see, the role of GCED when it comes to that, the importance in particular of global citizenship. I think it's very clear for us. So thank you once again, and thank you for this formidable group.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Cecilia is coordinating the global action to promote advanced GCED at the global level. So I know you will be, after this conference, and with that energy, you will be doing a lot of things to advance GCED at the global level. So we have a lot of expectations of UNESCO, in the future. So next, I would like to invite the Nelly Omino to share your takeaways.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lim. Happy Teachers' Day to all my Indian friend colleagues. Congratulations for the work you're doing. I would like to also echo my gratitude, as said by Cecilia and my other colleague, to the organizers of the event. So in my reflection, in my sharing, starting from a very humble beginning where I stumbled across a course on GCED, which I got out of a frustrated teacher and school leader that I was, because I was really having a lot of challenges in a school of about 1,000 plus students, a lot of behavior management issues, and I didn't know what to do. So when I stumbled across this course, I really am grateful to FCU, because when I went in for that workshop end of 2022, and in just less than 2 years, I'm a totally transformed person. I have a different perspective in terms of citizenship. I don't just understand it as being a Kenyan national. I understand myself now as being an international citizen. So just under the 2 years, a lot of initiatives were driven back home. I had no idea that I'll ever land in Korea, Seoul. I was just busy running around my business and making sure that the behavior is being managed through initiatives that I learned through the GCED courses at UPSIL. And yes, the school earned a trophy for being the great place to school because of all these initiatives. That was good. However, when I got an invite to come and attend this conference, I must confess, the word multilateralism, I couldn't get it. I went to the dictionary, I checked, and I had my own understanding of what this conference is going to turn out to be. So from moving from a global GCED ambassador at school, at work, just within a school environment, today I am proud to say that I am now a GCED catalyst, from ambassador to catalyst, because I can now understand, I'm able to understand the multi-sectoral, transsectional, international approaches towards GCED. Initially, I just thought of myself as a school teacher, school administrator, running this GCED agenda. But out of these 2 days, I've learned that there are very many players, from youth to community to human rights, there are so many sectors that are involved in this one agenda of pursuing peace to change the world. So I'm very excited about the multilateralism transsectoral approach that I've learned. I would never have imagined myself in a room with UNESCO peers. But this afternoon, because of that opening up of my mindset and just having this, multinational approach towards working towards this common thread, I found myself in that room. I checked my catalog, I checked and I said, UNESCO, that's the breakout session I'm going to. And I can now freely mingle, interact, and really have valued everything that I've learned from every sector. And my takeaway is we have commonalities, regardless of the sector you're in. We have commonalities in terms of the conflicts, in terms of the challenges we face, in terms of the agendas we want to pursue, so that we make sure that GCED is institutionalized. So we are one. We have a common thread. So as I go back home to my country, I am determined to expand the GCED institutionalization beyond the one institution I work in, tap into other sectors, because now I know there are other sectors. Now I'm very aware of the UNESCO recommendations as what it is we are supposed to be doing, so that we really do achieve a consensus around just peace building around the world. So I'm confident that with the UNESCO knowledge now that I have, and the colleagues that I'm going to tap into back home in different sectors, in another 1 year's time, it will have, snowballed into having many more children, many more adults grow into becoming global citizens, because the values we are working for, all the threads, the values, the principles are one. There is one thing that brings us together. My journey began in terms of including other sectors to influence GCED, and especially promoting peace. Today, at lunch break, when we were honored to have the ambassador from my country, Kenya, who would have wanted to see some of us yesterday, but I tried to convince her, busy as she was, to just come into the conference during our lunch break so that she can meet the wider community who are promoting this agenda. And she was kind enough to do that, so the conversation has begun. When I go back home, it will expand, and I really look forward to the day when the conversation will expand until we finally have one manual we can refer to as a framework for the GCED agenda. Thank you very much.
Yes, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just, I appreciate that you used the term GCED catalyst rather than, we used to use the term GCED champion, but champions are up there to be admired. But GCED catalysts are amongst us, just to help each other to grow and to develop. So I really appreciate the term GCED catalyst. So I believe that we will be all GCED catalysts after this conference. Yes? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Ahmadullayev.
So it's very cold here. I'm a little freezing, but what I want to say is, like, amidst all these conflicts and the wars going on in the world, lately I've been thinking all the time. I've been asking myself why we keep doing all these wars and conflicts. Why these things happening again and again? I don't know. It's very hard for me to understand why. But you would think we've been through all these wars, we've been through all these genocides, been through so much. And as people, we need to make the conclusion that it's 21st century, we need to fight for peace, we need to fight for love. But instead, we keep seeing all these conflicts, wars for no reason. It's very hard to bring reason for all these conflicts. And I've been thinking about this all the time. I've been asking myself, but coming here, listening to these stories of amazing people, seeing how people are risking their lives to make change, to change the lives of millions, to reshape the perspectives of people, you kind of find this hope. You start understanding that there are people in the world that are really fighting for this peace, for love. And I've been invited for this project of integrating GCED values into curriculum. So I haven't done a lot. I can say that I haven't promoted much to the peace, but I start seeing how much we can do, how much we can contribute to peace. Working as at the curriculum department, I start seeing how important it is to instill all these values from the very preschool ages, from the primary ages, how important it is to instill all these values and start telling to students, instead of just giving information, really explaining to students how important it is to have peace and how important it is to have all this content in our education system. So I believe this was a great opportunity for me to understand, to get so much experience, to see how we can contribute to peace, how we can encourage our children, encourage our students, behave them from very young age with these values. And I believe we'll be able to bring all these values to our school education system, to our preschool education system, and really hope that next generation will have a better idea of peace, learn to appreciate it, and with less conflicts in the world. Thank you very much for for inviting. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your message of hope and love, and also thank you for your commitment to bring the values of GCED into the national education system in Uzbekistan. Thank you so much for your sharing, and also for your hopeful messages. With those messages, I'm now going to turn to all of you. So I know you are ready. So I'm going to you. So everybody who wishes to share your reflection, takeaways, and actions you are going to take, please raise your hands. Anyone? Yes, yes, so many.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm very much thankful to FCU for this opportunity, as well as GCED advanced training. And as an individual from the diverse background, from the different nation, our common goal is to build the better world, peaceful world, with our determination to through GCED to resolve the world challenges. And from this 2-day session, it was a great pleasure to listen to the stories, sharing their challenges and sharing their ideas to move, to energize us to be a changer in our own locality for the betterment of the nation. And with this, I'm so, not only that, even during break time, we can communicate with other friends, and we are planning to work together with other nations in terms of in the field of research, in the field of sharing the ideas to make things much better and more fruitful world. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, great. Thank you so much. Next.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the ABCU for this wonderful opportunity to be here. I'm grateful for that, and I will not take that for granted. And again, I would like to say that I came in here empty, and I am going filled. Like my brain has added a lot of things to it. As I'm going back now to my country, I am going back as a rebrand ambassador of GCED. As I'm going back now, I am going back to change some certain things in the school, in my colleagues, in the community. I've learned a lot, starting from the integration. I've learned there's many ways I can integrate GCED in the school syllabus. And as I'm going back now, I know that there are some certain things that I thought I couldn't do, that I know that I could do. Listening to a few of the speakers, I've come to tell myself that, Choma, you have a lot to do. Even though I thought I've done a lot, I've come to understand that there's still more I need to do. As I'm going back, I am going back as a better peace agent of change. Thank you so much.
So great. It's poetic. I know. I thank you for you mentioning the GCED ambassador. So I don't know if we have a real ambassador here. What do you think?
Good evening, colleagues. Thank you so much, Dr. Lim. He's calling me the real ambassador. Thank you for that honor. By the way, it's really humbling for one to be appointed by a president to represent him and the Republic. I think it's the highest honor you can get, and it makes you feel so humbled to the extent that wherever you are, you don't think about yourself, you think about your country and you think about others. And that is really at the core of GCED. I have committed myself, and I want to say it in publicly, that as soon as I land back to UNESCO in Paris, I will be the go-to person in pushing the agenda of GCED in all the 195 state parties. That is my commitment, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Thank you. Yes.
I was scared I wouldn't get the microphone because there's many black people speaking. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Liam. I want to, first of all, thank the APCEU team for challenging me to be organized. You guys are so organized. Like, I've been seeing how the sessions are flowing, how everything is organized for the presentations, that time. I'm challenged. So I'm going to take some of this back home. Thank you. And then when I first had the training in 2022 on GCED, I couldn't quite tell where my role was since I am in the non-formal education sector. But coming into this event and listening to what each and every one of you is doing, I have realized that actually most of the work I've been doing has been contributing a lot to GCED. And I hope when I go back home, I'll continue to take this further because I'm committed to youth participation, but also making sure that young people are being prepared, that they are being seen as assets in this conversation and not liabilities, as most of the time we do, giving them a voice and ensuring that they are empowered to become global citizens. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Yeah, Barbara and other young colleagues, thank you so much for your contribution. We owe great appreciation to you. We have, this conference was supported by Ministry of Education, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, UNESCO, and also Chungnam National University, Korea. So we have Professor Park here. Let me invite Professor Park.
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Thank you very much. I enjoyed this conference, really enjoyed this conference, and I hope you also enjoyed this conference. And it's a very honor to be here as a partner institution for this conference, and I hope to continue to contribute to this conference as a partner institution in the future. And especially, personally, this conference was very special for me because my two graduate students shared the GCED activity yesterday, the focusing on beauty education and early childhood education. I learned from a lot of tips the implementing GCED in primary and secondary education in this conference, but the beauty education and early childhood education is quite a new concept for everyone, including me. So also I thought the higher education sector and lifelong learning sector is still challenging to implementing GCED. So I will bring back this idea to my university and share my colleague and student and community member, and I will make more effort to expand the GCED in our university first and our community first, and contribute to the more peaceful world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Park. Anyone in this side? Okay, please.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Lim, for being the driving force to bring us all together here. I think it's a large feat. I also want to thank the EPSU team. I see they've been working tirelessly day and night, making sure that we can all have a very smooth experience here. And also thanking the team in the background. They've been really, all the outsourced, I know they're from a company, but they've been ensuring that our experience here is really good, be it the air conditioning, the food, everything else. For me, being here has been a very humbling experience. I'm really honored that I could be here to learn from everyone. Like one of my colleagues here said that she's filled, I think I'm also feeling that I've taken in a lot of knowledge, which has made me more curious. So I have more questions, I'm thankfully here tomorrow as well, so I'm going to catch hold of team members from APSU, go around and talk more about the work that you're doing. And this is also a very good opportunity for me. I'm from UNESCO MGIP, which is another UNESCO institute in Asia-Pacific region. And I think it's extremely important that while APSU is doing such great work, we find avenues where we can maybe work together in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. After a good conference, we have more questions than answers. So I think this is a good conference. So thank you.
Hello, everyone, and I'm Mandoha from Mongolia. So I'm also participated in online workshop, 9th workshop on GCED education, and it was really wonderful experience for me. So I brought my colleagues here today. So we are Arts and Education University in Mongolia, only state university. So we think that art and cultural education can move forward the global community in very good ways. So we hope to learn more from you. And I'm also really thankful for ACP to putting this wonderful event together. And we had lots of chance to network with wonderful people who came here and wanted to change the world. And I really liked the word that small people and small actions collectively can change the world, and I really believe in it. And there's lots of things to do in Mongolia. We have lots of things in ideas to implement, and we hope to work together with all of you. And please enjoy your stay. It's a really beautiful country. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. We work together. Yes, please.
Thank you. For me, I will use one word to describe my feeling, inspired, by two things. One, listening to all these wonderful people sharing their experiences inspired me to want to go and do more. And two, thank you, APSU and the organizers, for giving me the opportunity to be here and also the platform to share the little things I was doing until I shared my story. I didn't know I was doing something great. When my colleagues ask questions and people are approaching me, they have placed value on the little things I'm doing, and so I'm inspired to go and do more. And I hope to share greater stories next time around. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Genevieve. Okay, our time is running.
I'll be very quick. I think the fantastic word game that was played earlier today really symbolizes the importance of one of the key takeaways for me. For example, looking at what does C stand for, capacity building, and looking at other important words which we sometimes just throw away now. We look at so much paperwork and documentation, and I think one of the key values of being here is seeing through the panel discussions, through the case studies, through personal communication and informal chats with people, what do these words really look like in a lived experience? And as far as we're concerned, definitely the youth perspective, we'd like to highlight the work of the youth and think about how much more we can support them in the work that they're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, just two last.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this experience. I'll just say it quickly that I'm taking back a plethora of knowledge, intriguing stories, inspirations, strategic ideas, and at last but not the least, enough fuel of guidance and motivation in me to lead me on this path of GCED front. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Definitely, I second with all who have said that we have learned so much from day one right till the last moment. Even in the breaks when we were having interactions with people around, every time we were taking nuggets of knowledge along with us. I think there are hundreds and millions of takeaways for us. So now the ball is in our court. And we have to decide what we are going to do with these nuggets of knowledge that we have collected. Are we going to take it back and just dump it once the euphoria dies? Or are we going to really put it to use and think of the smallest of the things? Just now, sorry, I don't remember the name, one gentleman said that don't worry if you're not able to make a huge impact. That's not essential. But even if you make a smallest of a difference, that is what is important. And I think that in small measures, life can perfect be, and we should try for that. So as educators, even in the smallest of the things, like we are taking a glass of water, but as I was saying, so many of the glasses were half full of water, and that water has gone into the drains. So when we are all here talking about GCED, we are talking about SDGs, and we are talking about taking it ahead through IDGs, that is inner development. Our inner development should tell us that I am here not to waste. I am here not to want. Because this world has for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. And I think GCED is something which teaches us this. And with this open mind, if we are able to take it back with us and implement it in the best possible way, that will be the real tribute to this wonderful conference that has occurred over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your motivation. And yeah. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your takeaways and your commitment to taking actions after this conference. So with that appreciation, I now close this panel plenary session. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the very last speech. Thank you, everyone. My colleague has just told me that we have, for this conference, we have 313 people registered and participated. So thank you so much for your participation. And yeah, we have also online participants, which is about 300. So we have quite a large number of participants. Thank you all for your participation and contribution. I thank all the speakers, workshop facilitators, and moderators for sharing your insights and experiences and leading the discussions for the last 2 days. I also thank the other participants for your strong support for GCED and your active interaction amongst yourselves and with other participants. Professor Audrey Osler, thank you so much for your inspiring keynote presentation. We very much appreciate that you emphasize the importance of listening to younger generations and the need to deal with inequalities of power relations. The presentations on current challenges, such as refugees, racism, and hate speech, human security and peace, artificial intelligence, have made a strong case for the importance of multilateralism in tackling such challenges and greatly facilitate our discussions in the following sessions. In strengthening GCED contribution to multilateralism and peace, storytelling can hardly be emphasized too much. As a powerful pedagogy for peace education, storytelling brings profound impact to the minds of both teachers and learners. We truly appreciate the presentations and the activity that enabled us experience the power of storytelling firsthand. Along with storytelling, role-playing, arts education, critical thinking, and innovative problem-solving skills are all important for GCED to play a greater role. The 3 parallel workshops to showcase these pedagogies and skills were very helpful. Today, we begin with the voices of youth actors telling the stories of working with fellow youth to make changes in their communities. We were inspired by these young activists and their experiences, and I thank you for bringing your insights and energy to this conference. We are also encouraged by the recent efforts and initiatives for GCED shared by various GCED stakeholders in the areas of research, teacher development, curriculum pedagogy, governance, policy, and partnerships. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to these GCED actors working on the ground to advance GCED. Your experiences give us courage and hope. Thank you very much. This afternoon, we had a workshop on UNESCO's 2023 recommendation and its Asia-Pacific roadmap. As you know, this recommendation places great emphasis on GCED by including GCED in its title and also in its main body. So it has a crucial meaning for GCED. And the workshop was an excellent opportunity to discuss ways to leverage these important global guidelines for GCED. There were also panel discussions on data and several initiatives being undertaken in Asia Pacific, Latin America, and although I didn't have a chance to listen to these panel discussions, I'm sure they provided us with lots of insights and ideas. Thank you, panelists and moderators. Finally, we have just shared our reflection on this conference and ways to move forward after this conference. Again, I thank everyone for sharing your views and thoughts. Thank you so much. Dear colleagues and friends, with all these contributions and discussions, we have completed together this year's conference successfully. Thank you very much, everyone, for your support and cooperation. Special thanks to the co-organizers, Ministry of Education, Korea, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Korea, and also to the partners, UNESCO and Chungnam National University. Given our efforts and commitment, we deserve congratulations on this success. But we cannot be complacent about this success. Challenges we face every day are enormous, and the world seems to get worse despite our continued and even doubled efforts. But nevertheless, we will not lose our hope and courage as long as we do something, however little it may be, to overcome our narrow-mindedness and realize our common humanity and work together for our common good. Let us continue our work and our sharing and inspiring through this conference and other opportunities. So I hope to see you again soon on other occasions and also at next year's conference. Finally, let me close by thanking the interpreters and the conference organizers for their professional work. And I must not forget to thank my upstate colleagues who have worked so hard to prepare and run this conference. Let me call their names. Sunmi, Sulbi, Mingyu, Jihyun, Yoonyoung, Juyeon, and all the other upstate colleagues. Please stand up. Thank you. Thank you so much for your tireless efforts and valuable contribution. Thank you everyone for your active participation and your contribution. We hope to see you again soon, hopefully at the next year's conference. Thank you so much. Thank you.